Good evening, everybody. This is the Tracklicious Sim Racing GT4 Fall 2021 Championship doubleheader at Zandvoort. We are about 30 seconds away from free practice ending and qualifying starting. Zandvoort has 14 corners to this, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here as we have a lot of drivers on the field. 28 in total. So that's going to be a lot of interesting dynamics happening with these teams. Okay, and while we have this going, I'm going to go to the scoring here. And we'll transition a little bit. So we have Riley Manier in P1 in the championship series starting out from the last week's race. He has 65 points. Mitch McConnell is going to be with 52 points, as well as Eric Miller in the Aston Martin Vantage with 48 points, followed by Richie Girolman with 37. I think that's Andre Masachero with 33, Mesa with 33, Honored Sundar with 32, Josh Willis in P8 with 32, Masachero with 30, Mike Burkhoff with 26. Going to the scoring details, we have the teams in the lead right now with the Greendale Community College team in P1, the Beetlejuice team in P2 with 84 points. Greendale is leading by with 91, and then the North American Peruvian Sim Racing with 68 points in P3, with Third Eye Racing in P4 with 50, trailing behind with 8. That's an 18-point difference right there. With Flying Lizard Motorsports with 48, 2 points difference there from 4 to 5. That's pretty nice. TWP Racing Alpha with 47. Total Legit Racing Team, aka the Rich Energy Team, with 47 points. TWP Racing Beta Team with 19. Insight Spirited Driving with 12. And Tacos Locos with 10. It's good to see that's going on there as we are starting qualifying. I'm going right back into the live scene here. We will get on board with somebody that is out front, and it looks like that's going to be Josh Willis of the Third Eye team. Car number 22. He has a very good gap from the next driver that's going up against. And that's Richie Girolman. And quite frankly, these drivers have been shown to do this. They always try to get out first, and sometimes it's Richie, sometimes it's Josh. But they really just want to keep that good buffer from the other drivers. And we'll stay on board with Josh to see how he does as we're going through the outlap right now. Qualifying is 10 minutes, and they have started that. So we have sunny skies for the next 10 minutes. Track is fast. Track temp at 22. Anything can change, though. They could switch to a... we won't know for certain until, I think, about 5 minutes from now whether or not this track is going to stay dry for the race, the start of the race. As car number 52 has a slight incident. Oh, wow. Look at that. A lot of yellow on the board on that track. So it looks like a lot of drivers are trying to either slow down to build up some gaps. I think that's what's really occurring here is we're having a lot of drivers slow it down a little bit on that final corner before going through that, just to give everyone a good brief. And it looks like there's a big gap forming between each driver, so I think what's happening is they're allowing each other to get a good breather room of a couple seconds. That way they can get a one good lap in. As Josh Willis enters Sector 2, definitely be interesting to see where he ends up, as we do have to wait until we get some drivers going across the board before I'll pull up the different sector times, because it's not tracking yet at this moment in time. As we have Rasa, who is still on his outlap, and so is Otto, as well as Mesa. Mesa's one of those drivers that's really fast, so it's interesting to see that he's invalid right now. He must have just went out knowing that he wants to build a good gap, and that's what he's doing right now. Is he's one of the furthest back in the pack, so he'll do less laps, but he'll have more opportunity to have a better advantage with clean air. As we have Josh Willis already being beaten out from P1. He's now P2. He's 157.7. 145.7, sorry. Let's see. Pull this up so you guys can take a look at the board. We have Richie Geralman with a 145.5. That's 2/10 off the best of Josh Willis. And Chronotis with a 147 flat. Reggie King with a 147 flat. And then we have Bravo with the 147 flat as well. Literally hundreds separating these three drivers from 6, 7, and 8. As we have Based-In, I don't know who this driver is, but take a look at that. Area 52 Sim Racing, Danny Based-In. He holds the fastest lap right now with a 144.775. He holds the best Sector 1 time and the best Sector 3 time, but he's really not cutting it for that Sector 2 time, which we have Richie Geralman already in the pits, and he holds the Sector 2 best time. We have Andreas Masachero showing his strength, as he is at 145.3, just 2/10 above Richie Geralman's fastest. As we have Mike Burkhoff with a 145.8, and then O'Reilly Manier with a 145.7. And then you have Mesa. Look at him, Ellard Mesa of the Naps team. He goes with a 144.775, going the same exact time as Based-In did. Wow. What an upset. His Sector 1 time was a little slower, but way faster in Sector 2, and still in quickest in Sector 3. But these two drivers are holding the same 100th together. 1,000th. Wow. Mesa really pulling it together, as Sundar goes 145.3. We have a full second off these drivers from P1, 2 to 3. Masachero going 145.1, going really flat, as Basin gets a new record there. That's a 144.4, going fastest in Sectors 1 and 2. Slowing down in Sector 3 a little bit. But I think what we're really going to see is this driver's going through Sector 2 right now. Ellard Mesa, we're going to stay on board with him, as he has been one of the most impressive drivers from last race we had in the GT4 series. And which one is he? Is that Carbon? Car number 52? So I don't see the name on the board. That must be that driver. As he goes across the line, he's a little off his delta, so he's not going to get a faster time. But where are we looking at right now? We have Josh Willis going across very shortly. He's going to be 4/10 off his best time. P1, okay, so Cabron is P1. All right, Josh Willis pulls a better time out of his hat, and he's going to go 145.2. But Anirudh Sundar is already on a great flyer. He is a 145.3. He's 7/10 off his best time right now. He is going to be going across. Interesting to see where he ends up. Maybe he's going to split those two at the front. As Honorud Sundar goes second fastest, P2 with a 144.6. Mace is definitely going to have to pull it together as he ends. He's going through sector 2 right now. Let's see if he can't do it. He's already building almost half a second off his best time. As a lot of these drivers, as we scroll to the backfield, are not improving on times. We have invalid laps. We have people still in the pits. We have Bravo, King, Bottas, Wassam, Mantone. None of them have been pulling in any time, and with the qualifying coming to a close at 147 seconds left to go, I don't believe it's going to happen. So we'll pull back up and see where Mace is at. Mace is still only 0.2 faster, but that 0.2 could prove to be lethal as Honorud Sundar is not improving on his lap. He's already half a second positive on that delta. I think Mesa is going to reclaim P2. As Ellard Mesa goes second fastest with a 144.499. He is just a couple of hundredths off from Baisden, who did the best with a 144.4. Still holding the Sector 1 and 2 best times, but Sector 3 goes to Mesa on that, as we have no other driver doing a lot better. As Masachero is actually, as I spoke too soon, Diego Masachero is going through some traffic, and he's still holding a really good time. He was 0.7 up on his best time, but that traffic that really brought him down right there only gave him a slight edge, as he has 0.3 off his time right now. He's still going to be trying to go for it, though, as he has enough time to go for another lap as he goes across, and he picks up one position. That's how close it is in the in that starting lineup. He only gets one position. He's now P7. We have from P4, we have the other Masachero, the other brother. He's holding steady, but he's going to stay in the pits. We have a 145.1 going all the way down to 14th, P14th. We have a 145.8. All those drivers are within a second of each other, all in the tenths. That's impressive as anyone can think it's going to be. And then Mesa rounding out. He's going even faster than his last lap. He's got a 0.2 up, which is going to give him all the room he's going to need to go fastest as he's crossing the line. Ellard Mesa pulls in a 144.220, going fastest to Sector equaling Baisden's Sector 1 times with a 134.038. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That driver is alien, as we have Ed Kerstetter coming from nowhere, as he's going to be ending his lap. He went to the pit. He's still going for it. I think he has enough time. Yeah, he has not invalidated his lap, but he is about even with his delta. Maybe you can see if he can't pull anything off in that last sector, but he's already P6. As Baisden and Sundar try to go for another lap, they're going to be kind of defeated as they are unable to improve upon their times. And Kerstetter doesn't look to be improving as he goes to this corner. And he is not going to be improving, as there was a chance that Pickrell was going to be improving, but he also, Andrew Pickrell, does not improve upon his time going through that last sector, as the Jet Angle on the Flying Lizard team goes with a 145.7, rounding out qualifying. That is insane. We have three aliens amongst us: Mesa, Baisden, Sundar, with 144.2, 0.4, and 0.6. Every other driver on the field is going to be behind that qualifying pace. Once we get to race pace, hopefully in that time, we will see some variable occur. So we'll switch back over to the regular screen here. I'm going to hit drive. We got 3 minutes and 9 seconds left to go. I need to add these emotes. Oh, how's it going? Ricardo Huasca, Mr. Shy Guy, Miller, and Crow. So I will pull towards some of the drivers here. We'll get a good look at who's on the starting line. So we have Mesa, and then this new driver, Baisden. They'll be starting first and second. And then Honored Sundar of the Trackless Sim Racing right there. She's got a nice little livery going on right there. And then we have the, car number 52 and car number 29 seem to have the same livery. Maybe they're part of the same team. This could be a late addition. I do believe we did get some late additions to this this lineup. So I'll take a look at that once we get a chance. As we have the TWP sitting pretty nicely. And that's Raza and Richie Girolman, 46 and 30. And there's Pickrell in P10. And that is Jason Provolone in car number 82. He's with TWP Racing. I still have not updated that livery. As we have Riley Manier in P12. If somebody told me Riley Manier was not going to be the top 10, I would have laughed at them. But there he is, P12 right now. There's a flying lizard of Jed Engelman sitting right there. Is the community, Greendale Community College team, who's leading the team constructors right now, is sitting in 12 and 14. Mike Burkhoff and Riley Manier are going to have to make their way through this mess. Tacos Locos right there. That's Bravo. Jose Bravo. And we have Erica Cassian right there in car number 55. 44 is Reggie King in that Gianetta. Another Rich Energy of Cornotis. And another Tacos Locos of Orozco. Flying Lizard over here. I think that's Romulus. As well as Wang. Car number 86. And then we have a really nice introduction to Hendrick Motorsports. That J Auto of car number 60 in the sky. And who's that one? That's a new driver. I haven't seen this livery before, but I believe that's one of the drivers of the last race we just did. The exhibition matches. We have Greendale Community College sitting at the back of the pack as well with a Hendrick. In a third racer. That's Pickerel and Cornotis. I couldn't tell you who that driver is, but let's just let's slide over to that and see what we're going on here. We have that's not Mantone. That's Constable Cody Wassam in the Greendale community. Oh, and Jarek Snyder is part of the Rich Energy team. And that Bottas in the V8, Valtteri Bottas, car number 68. And then Barrera back there in Baby Rat. As we will do, let's see real quick. We have Baisden and Kerstetter of the Area 52 Sim Racing. Now that's going to be an upset. We have Mesa starting on the line with his drivers in P4. Andres Masacerdo and his brother Diego Masacerdo in P7. So that we have the NAPS, North American Peruvian Sim Team, all starting in the top 10, with Area 52 having their two drivers in the top 10. We have TWP sitting in the top 10 with Raza Girolman, and then Rich Energy in P10, Josh Willis of the Third Eye team in P5. And also I think Sundar is a part of that. So we have one Beetlejuice. There's a lot of interesting things happening already. Okay, who was the inside line of T1? That's going to be Baisden. So we have Danny Baisden P2. I'll go over the overall right now shows who's in the lead. As we go through this formation lap. Oh, this race is going to be insane. We have some of those fast drivers from the GT4 exhibition that are joining us, and they have started on the top 5. Kerstetter is actually P6, but still, they're within the top 10. That's impressive to start out amongst all these drivers. And just briefly, I will explain. We have the Greendale Community College team who is starting in the midfield with one of their drivers in the back of the pack. They are leading the team championship right now with 91 points. The Beetlejuice team, Erica Cassian, Mitch McConnell, and Anirudh Sundar. Sundar's P3. They have 84 points. And then the NAPS, North American Peruvian Sim Racing, they're P3 right now. And they have 3 drivers in the top 10. And they have 68 points. Third Eye's leading behind with 50, and Flying Lizard Motorsports is 48. TWP Racing Alpha is 47, and Rich Energy with Andrew Pickerel, Chronotis, and Jarek Snyder with 45 points. And then it really drops down from there as the drivers really holding a different split. And as we go across this line, I'm going to stick to a helo cam just to see how clean everyone is. As everyone's lining up in their box, this race is about to start. It will be going green, green, green shortly. There it goes. Green, green, green. Sweet. Got a tight in gap. That's 2 drivers already overtaking Anirudh Sundar there. So we have Mesa being overtaken by Baisden, but Mesa's going to be coming back. Oh, as we have some incidents occurring in the backfield, car number 44, Reggie King, is already dropped to the back of the pack. And it looks pretty clean. Everyone's clean. Let's just pull back a little bit. Everybody's still clean. Oh, car number 3's off. And there's a little bit of a shuffle. I'm trying to get back to the leaders here. We have Basin in front. Mesa in 2. Masachero in 3. Anirudh Sundar getting really close to that driver. We already have the Area 52 driver going in for it. That's Kerstetter in P5. Already making place on Josh Willis there. We will switch back to this track view. All these drivers are within 0.3 of each other right now, as these 2 NAPS drivers are really making some good pace. We have Basin still leading with a 0.6 off of him. We're still clean for the most part. Car number 3 is Santiago Orozco of the Tokos Locos team, and he is a little bit behind, and we may see a little gap forming there. Hey, thank you, Salty Capricorn, for that follow a little bit back, as well as Viva Licious. Thank you for supporting Tracklicious Sim Racing, as we have a little bit of a gap forming between these drivers. They're still very smooth. We have Diego Masachero in P7 really holding it together. He's holding back these 2 TWP Alpha teammates. That's going to be it's going to be rough when you're by yourself and your drivers are really that far ahead of you, as they're trying to make some pace here. As we'll pull back to we got Pickerel trying to go against these TWP Racing. Yeah, that he really did pull away right at the start of that. You can tell Andrew Pickerel wants to get by this driver. He's a little bit quicker. You can see it in him. With Riley Minear only picking up 1 position since the start of this race, you really have to think we really have an entirely new scope of what we expect out of these drivers. One of our fastest drivers of the league is sitting in P11, and he hasn't been making any pace off of Andrew Pickerel, who is a very strong contender. So we'll pull back to Mesa and see what's happening here. There's about a second gap forming from P1 to 2. Oh, we might see a very clean top 5 sitting there together. Oh, as I spoke too soon, we have Barrera off into a wall, and that was collected with another driver. And that is Steven Mantone of Hendrick Motorsports. You hate to see it. And look at that. Andres Masachero is really keeping pace with Mesa, but we have a little bit of a gap forming from P4 with already a 1.1 second gap from en route Sundar, as Kerstetter of the Area 52 Sim Racing is actually going to really put some pressure down on en route Sundar. Pressure on en route Sundar is not something you often see, but there he goes. Oh, he's a little bit off right there. That's going to pull him back a little bit. He's still 2/10 off this driver, as Josh Willis has lost a couple positions, or I think he's actually only lost one position to Kerstetter. So Josh Willis in P6, the Third Eye team. And I didn't speak too soon when I came down to that top three. We have Mesa with a 1.3 second gap from the race lead, and then Masachero with a 1.2 second gap from Mesa. So we have the top three really just finding their groove, as this is going to be a 30-minute race. It's a double header with another 30-minute race going on. Oh, see, I think he might have, let's see, 252 and 188. Nope, those drivers did not touch. They were close, but they did not touch. If he was going to make a move, it was going to be right here, but he ended up pulling back in. So we do have Richie Girolamo and Raza really, gotta hit that curb a little bit, as Richie Girolamo passes his teammate, holding back Andrew Pickrell. Kerstetter goes on the inside. It looks like they're going to stay double on this. He pulls back in. I think he's just biding his time. He knows he's quicker. His pace is pretty quick. We got en route Sundar with a 146 flat, and Kerstetter with a 145.6. He's 4/10 faster than en route Sundar, and he's just sitting behind this driver thinking, I can pass. And he's keeping it clean. He's keeping it professional, but it's got to be frustrating when you know you have a quicker pace and you're just sitting behind another driver that's got a really good defense. He is 2/10 off this driver. Maybe he's going to make a move within Sector 2. Yeah, that's a better one. So just adjusting the cams to make sure that I'm on the wide angle approach here. And these drivers have been forming a little train. All four of them have consistently the same pace, as we see the race lead, P2 and P3, all slightly gapping from away from each other. As there's an issue occurring right there, as a couple drivers went off track. Looks like they saved it. Car number 56 to be having some... There it is. We have some really good formations going. We have this formation of 4 drivers, and then you have the 188 drivers with 68, 55 with 747. There's just some really good chunks of pace forming with these drivers, but no one's making any moves that I've been able to take into account here, as Kerstetter still holds the closest pace to another driver with a 2-second gap, or 2/10 gap. Oh, as I spoke too soon, we have Bravo in the wall. The Togos Locos. It's a Mexican. I should have said that better. He is safely making his way back on track. As Kerstetter is still now 1/10 off of this driver. Is Masachero's trying to have a go at Josh Willis. Doesn't look like he's going to gain anything, as they are going down that, though. It's close. He gets to the inside, doesn't quite make it. Doesn't have the inside for the next turn, so there's no passing there. And they're going to be, because of their battle, they're actually losing some time to those other racers right now. going back to the race lead, Danny Baisden with a 144.8, and his best was a 144.4. He holds the fastest time on track right now, and he's very consistent in that 144 range. We have Mesa with a 144.6 of last, and his best was a 146. I'm sorry, 144.6 was his best, barely being it out by 100. So he's also finding his pace. That's Ellard Mesa there. And then Masachero has got a 2.7 second gap from his own teammate, and he has a 145.3. His best is a 145. Then going back to Kerstetter, still behind this driver. His last was a 145.882, and Honored Sundar's was a 0.852. So not too far off from this driver. These drivers are maintaining a close gap. Doesn't look to be trying to make a move on the driver either. So he doesn't really pull out or try to make any aggressive moves on him. Maybe he's just hoping that Honored Sundar is going to make a mistake. Somehow outpace him right at some point. As we have these drivers, Riley Manier now holding P10. He has gone up one more position against Jason Provolone there. As Andrew Pickrell leads that pack of drivers. As we have Mike Burkhoff of the Greendale Community College creating a little sandwich for Provolone. Not American, that's for sure. You see Josh Willis maintain his defense as he has a very good exit there. We have Richie Geralman in P14 sitting behind Ray Frias of the Third Eye. He is also one of those drivers that's just going to wait for the mistake to occur. I don't see him passing anytime soon, especially since Ray's keeping a really good pace. Pace from these two drivers is literally, wow. The pace from Ray Frias and Richie Geralman is about 5/10. He is faster every lap by 5/10, so maybe we will see something happening here. As our gap forms even farther, we have Chronotis of the Rich Energy team is in a battle of his own. You can see on track he has a large gap formed from every driver around him, as Jed Engelman has a 6.5 second gap from him, and these drivers are also in the backfield just forming large gaps here, with the exception of Bottas, King, and Wassam. And going back up, we have Diego Masachero in P7, still trying to battle out Josh Willis there. As we have Kerstetter in P5, still trying to battle out Honored Sundar. As Masachero gets closer. We're not even halfway through this race. Anything's possible at this moment. So I have a lot of those drivers still closely packed together while they're going down that straightaway. Constable Cody Wassam goes in on that inside of Bottas. Looks like he's going to be able to pass him, as well as that driver behind him, Reggie King. Also tries to have a go, but does not stick it. As Cody Wassam takes P20. He takes 2 positions off of those drivers. He passes King and Bottas, as Reggie King goes ahead of Bottas there. As Valtteri Bottas is off in the corner, that's going to leave the room for Otto to get by, as well as yeah, I think that was the only one. All right, going back up, we have Masachero still trying to abide with this driver. Okay, like I said, Richie Geralman is actually finally getting close enough to where he might try to make a move on Ray Frias. It's a very clean exit there. Definitely won't be seeing a dive bomb from this driver. This means a clean, consistent racing. As Ray tries to have a go on the outside of Jason Provolone, he's getting close. It's going well. It's going great. We have a very clean race so far. The number of incidences that have occurred is only 12 incidences. And one driver holds a lot of those titles for those incidences. As we go towards Diego, still battling out Josh, but nothing's really happening. As we see Richie Girolman still trying to do something. Ooh, look at that. We're already close. We have Romulus in P19, and the Greendale Community College Constable Cody Wasson is going to have a go at him, as well as Reggie King in the Ginetta behind him. Flying Lizards has a tough contention with two really strong drivers behind him. Is he going to be able to make it? He's really holding 2/10 off this driver as he gets closer and closer. If he's going to make his move, it's going to be in Sector 2, but knowing Cody Wasson, he'd rather look for someone's mistakes and capitalize versus try to overtake in aggressive manners. But these three drivers are really sticking together. Oh, as he goes in on that inside. Look at that. Cody Wasson, with that clean overtake, goes ahead of Romulus of the Flying Lizard team, as that Ginetta looks to try to have a go at him as well. All right. This is what it's all about. P1, P2. Mesa's found his pace. He's getting close to P1. His teammate is 5.5 seconds off of him. So from P3 to P2, there's a 5-second gap. Mesa right now holds a 0.2 tenths off of P1. Oh, no. Okay. The board updated, and I was unsure where Josh's place was. He's still P6 with Masachero still holding P7. Those two have been, on each other like glue this entire race, but there's still nothing's happened there. Just a quick update. Not only tough, but is it Danny Basin? Danny Baisden of the Area 52 team. They are a late addition to this fall season for the GT4. This is his first time out with these drivers, so it's already holding P1, starting P2. That is a fast driver. And going down that line, that straightaway, that's got to be a puckering moment, knowing that BMW is definitely going to be able to overtake you. That is scary to watch. These two drivers are really just so close. Going through that corner, you never want to be too close, but I'm not great at driving, so that's why I don't get too close. As we see some other battles forming on the track. P12, 13, and 14 are really going at it. I won't pan away because we're still so close here. Anything can happen from these two drivers. This car number 82 goes off slightly, incident with the car number 777. So that's Jason Provolone drops down to P15. Definitely had an incident that occurred with Ray Frias. Yep, Ray Frias, who's in P12. So we now have Riley Meneer P10, Mike Burkhoff P11. Jason Provolone was in the middle of those two, so something must have happened with Ray Frias at some point. It occurred. So Ray Frias goes down. Richie Girolman's going to overtake Ray Frias off cam. It's so you can see that driver has a lot of damage on that front end. So something must have happened with Provolone there. So we see Masachero go a little wide there. Right now, no driver has out. Ooh. Look at that. As I pull away for half a second on my monitor, Ellard Mesa takes P1 from Danny Baisden. Now he's going to be holding P1 with a 2/10 gap. You hope he sticks it. There's a 6.6 second gap from P3 from the race lead right now, as that is his teammate in a race of his own with a 3-second gap formed behind him in P4 with Honorud Sundar still holding back Kerstetter in P5. Wow. I missed the overtake. You guys saw it. You guys saw the overtake. I had just looked away for half a second, and that's how long it took. Less than a second for these drivers to show their true potential, and that is one that we'll mark it now. 9 minutes left to go. Let's see how that driver was able to make that overtake in the replays. Yikes. And Ellard's going to pull some really strong points if he's able to maintain this. And Area 52 is going to gain some points, and it's going to put them in the top 5 for the contention of the team championship, even though 2 of them are only racing. That's 3 drivers that are in the top 10 for the North American Peruvian Sim, but they'll only be able to take 2 positions from that on points, which would definitely be P1 and 3 if it comes down to it. These drivers are close, but not close enough where something's going to happen, I don't think. We'll just take a look at some driving happening here. These back markers, we have the Hendricks Motorsports together now. We have Mike Burkhoff really close to his teammate. Riley Meneer, P10, still holding. We have Rasa of the TWP holding P8 still. Is Masachero, while close, is still nowhere closer to Josh Willis on that overtake. Same thing with Ed Kerstetter in P5. He has been on Honorud Sundar like glue, but yet nothing has been able to, shake up from it. You would think so, Miller. You would think because it's on the straight, just stay in the toe. Is he holding? He's holding really close. He's sticking to him. As he looks to go on the inside here, I don't think he's close enough along to make it happen. Definitely not there. As you see, car number 56 also holding together. Kerstetter has showed many times to try to go in on that inside, but he keeps pulling back. He's very much hesitant to make that move, and I've seen it several times, and it's unfortunate because it looks like he has some pace. As I'll look over at the timesheet, Kerstetter's last was a 1:45.3. Sundar's was a 1:45.5. Sundar has had a faster best lap, but Kerstetter right now is 0.2 faster than Honorud Sundar is. Going back to the other Area 52 sim racing driver, Danny Baisden, car number 52 is also holding it together. Is you can honestly see a little bit of damage to his back end. So that might be some T1, some lap 1 incidents that you don't quite see. Because they've had a clean race since then, so it must have been off that initial. As we see car number 55, Erica Cassian in P17, holding it together with Constable Cody Wassam and Reggie King both coming at him. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Reggie King and Cody Wassam were both in a team last season in the GT4. So these two drivers know how each other drives, and so they're going to have a go at a driver ahead of him. There's no team orders here, but you can clearly see that these drivers are trying to pull some pace on this driver. As we see no significant change in the gap formage of P2 to P1 and 2, as well as 4 to 5. Masachero and Raza are going to have a go at each other, though. So Ali Raza of TWP Racing is getting close to Diego Masachero and Josh Willis there. Oh, here it goes. This is a midfield battle, but it still counts for some people's points. Points go all the way to 20, so if you're outside of the 20, you will not be receiving points. So you really want to stay and maintain your position within that rank. And nothing is happening. Be the change. Oh. And we have two drivers going side by side, Jarek Snyder and the Rich Energy, right next to Romulus. This battle does matter for the points. If you're 21, you don't get points. So see if something can happen there. No, doesn't try to go on that outside. Snyder at some point is going to be able to find his gap. Yeah, you could clearly see this livery was designed with some really good perfection. I really like the Rich Energy livery there. So we see Ed Kerstetter gets a little close, but not enough. And then we have Danny Baisden also a little close, but not enough. Masachero is still holding his line. As Raza goes really wide there, he's not going to be able to hold anything close to these drivers. As the Greendale Community College team is just holding P10 and 11 still. Ooh, he goes a little too deep, I think. Going back to Romulus here, he's lost out to Jarek Snyder there. Nope, not yet. Totally reading that wrong. But it could happen at any minute. We have 2 minutes and 28 seconds left on the clock. Let's see if not a lot of gaps. No. Romulus is able to hold him at bay. Ed Kerstetter still trying to attack Anirudh Sundar. It's been like this all race. So it's a strong 30-minute race. This Masachero is still unable to make anything happen there. The field has stretched very wide, but a lot of these drivers are still close together. We have Barrera and Bravo next to each other, Mantone and Otto, Snyder and Romulus, Reggie King, Constable Cody Wassam passed Eric Cassian at some point. He now holds P17. As Cassian goes a little wide, that Junietta still hasn't made their move, but you can definitely bet he's going to try to go for it. As we have Chronotis and Provolone fighting each other. Provolone has a lot of damage, and something really happened there, and it's really difficult to say what, but he did have an incident with car number 82, which was unfortunate. Provolone and Ray Frias had an incident. That is with the third eye. Josh Will is still maintaining P6. Kerstetter getting closer. He's only a 10th off of this driver. Is he going to make something happen? They're going through Sector 2. We got 50 seconds left on the clock. The race lead himself is going to be able to go at... Oh, as he goes wide. Oh, he still holds that inside line. With a clean exit, I don't see anything happening there. It's a shake and bake. Oh, yeah. Shake and bake. It's a movie I need to go rewatch. It's been a while. It's very close. They're about kissing, but nothing's happening so far. There he goes. Is that it? They are side by side as they go down this straight. Is it going to be all he needs to get this? Oh. Oh, what? What? Honoru Sundar goes into the pits. The leader is on the final one. Ed Kerstetter takes P4. Basin is holding steady in P2 with almost a second off differential there. That doesn't make any sense. Honorud Sundar pulls himself into the pits when he was holding P4 and the race lead is on the final lap. It could be fuel. As we look back, there has been no movement from this driver. Oh, it is fuel. It has to be fuel. He's pulling out of the pits now. He has dropped down to 13. He's going to drop again to 14 if he can't get across that line. That first corner before this driver gets close. He is now P19. We have some lap traffic here separating Danny from Mesa. It's the Locos going to the final corner. There you have it. What an upset. The Naps team is going to be taking home some points to boot. That is P1 for Ellard Mesa, P2 for Danny Baisden. As Andres Masachero goes across the line, he's going to be P3. Ed Kerstetter, who you didn't think it was going to happen, but because of fuel loss, Honorud Sundar goes to P19. Ed Kerstetter holds P4. Josh Willis, P5, goes across the line. Masachero, P6. Pickerel, P7. Riley Manier gets P8 out of that. Mike Burkhoff, P9. So that's good points for the Greendale Community College as they were running top P1 in the team championship. As we have Ray Free as P10. Richie Girolamo, P11. Raza drops back down. He is on the side of the track. He must not have enough fuel. Oh, no. Oh, no. This driver definitely does not have any fuel. He is going down the track. Oh, my. And you gotta worry about fuel. As car number 55 takes home those points for 16. Raza's going down. Cody Watt, we have Jet Emmington in 14th. Let's just go to the boards here. Girolamo, 11. Provolone, 12. Engelman, 14. Wassam, 15. Erica Cassian, 16. Sundar, 17. Snyder, 18. Romulus, 20. Or 19. Otto, 20. Then going down the line, oh, that's unfortunate. We have Mantone, who's in 21. Bravo, 22. Barrera, 23. Bottas in the pits with that 24. Wang, 25. That is unfortunate. Raza goes towards second to dead last as we had two drivers that went into the pits. Reggie King and Orozco in 27 and 28. Whoa! That is quite something as the Naps team take home a lot of points for this first race. That that is a beautiful ending to this race. So I'm wondering if we can't get anybody. As we are going to be holding towards return to garage, we're going to have a 10-minute free practice, 10-minute quali, and then a 30-minute race. So I'm going to go back to the replay, take a look at what happened in that overtake that occurred on one of the second to last laps that you guys got to see. And I myself was a victim to looking at multiple screens. And you hate to see it, but Onward Sundar just, you know, fuel was a problem for two drivers on this field today. And I'm hoping that they'll learn from that mistake when they go into the second race. That is truly unfortunate, as there's a lot of points to be had there. As we'll talk about HUD, we'll go to Mesa, and that happened right around. Well, he really led that pack towards the end there, didn't he? That's a lot of laps. There it is. And that's all it was. Look at, I clicked commentator luck right there is what that is. He gets him on the straightaway. As clean as it is. Oh! Now that isn't clean. Take that back a little bit. We'll go out of the cam here. Ooh. That's where that back end damage came from. That is going to be a steward moment if I ever saw one. And that being said, in this league, if you don't give back a position you earn through a bonk, that is going to be a that's going to be a stewarding moment, as Ellard might be demoted to P2 in the post race. Yeah, let's just that's unfortunate, is that was not very clean, and he never gave back the position at any point. Yep. There's no point at any that he ended up giving that back, and that would have been something you would have given back towards the beginning. And sometimes you know your way around someone and through them. Yeah, that's gonna be a Darth Stewart moment, as you already have an early glimpse of what happened with that driver. Is you wish that the fuel system actually worked, because you could totally want to see which driver had what amount of fuel, but it looks like it's just showing 20, which isn't the correct dosage. Didn't something actually happen on this that we should take a look at? We have car number 56 and 14. Oh. This is what you guys are really here for. We are 9 minutes in, so that is through the first corner. Sundar hits car number 14 at some point. And I don't see it. We're at 8 minutes. Doesn't seem to be there. Let's go Provolone. What happened to Provolone? Because Provolone was sitting at 12, and then he is car number 82. Me and Ray have an incident at the 9-minute mark. Let's say that's Orty P15. Oh, there he is. Oh, look at that. He loses it. This is another bonking moment. Nothing yet. Oh! Now we can't even look at this through his perspective. We gotta look at this through this driver's perspective. So let's take a look here. Oh, okay. My mistake. We can't look at it through that perspective. There's something else that's happening here with these drivers. He gets too much curb. He's holding his line. Oh, you know what? He just doesn't have enough room. He didn't give it the space. And that bonks Ray, who goes into the wall, going straight. He should have been on his brakes, but hello? And takes the position, not cleanly, but Jason Provolone's also not. He should have left a space, and this is the result as Provolone pulls back to P15, trying to make his way back into the field. It was unfortunate for those drivers. As that is the last time he has an incident, but you know who else has some incidences? We have Valtteri Bottas in car number 80 or 68, who towards the end here, 32 minutes. Let's see.
Hey Jason, we have Mesa and I'm sorry, Carbon. I don't know your
That is
first name.
gonna be
Danny.
Danny.
Yeah, Danny Baisden.
Yeah, these
Is
guys
it Baisden?
here.
Yeah. Danny Basin.
Cool. Okay, so we have Danny Baisden and Allard Mesa. What a fantastic battle. First off, quali was amazing. You guys were really just a few tenths off from each other, holding some alien times. Danny, you led the race for the majority of the time, and we definitely saw where Mesa was able to pick it off from you. Was that first turn incident towards the middle of the race kind of the end for you, thinking you weren't going to be able to get past that?
Yeah, after he got around me, I ended up getting a slow puncture on the right rear, and it was just trying to survive after that.
Okay, and I mean, you did great. You had some great speeds. I mean, you came in P2 on quali, so being able to hold on to him even with the puncture, that is, that's a fantastic job. So great race from you. Is there anything that you're going to learn from this when you're going into the second race? Maybe not be in front of Mesa during turn 1?
Yeah. Just instead of turning left in turn 1, go right. No, I don't know. No, it was an excellent race, regardless of what happened, and I'm assuming Mesa didn't do it on purpose. So no, it was a fun battle nonetheless, and he was coming after me in the beginning. So yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah, and this is your introduction to the GT4 series, but in a great introduction, you really had a great race and a great quality. So, and your teammate as well. So congratulations to both your team, as you're going to be pulling some major points as if you guys can stay consistent in the second race. Yeah, congratulations, and welcome to the sim community.
Yeah,
here.
appreciate you guys having me.
Mm-hmm. And Allard Mesa,
Thanks, Danny. Put you back down.
Allard, first off, fantastic job in quali, pulling out. I saw you went out a little later than every other driver, and that's probably something you learned from the first the race last week where you were in a lot of traffic. This time you gave yourself a very big opening. Was that the entire intention behind you going out late?
Actually, no. I don't know what happened. I was leaving the pits right after right after qualifying started. I don't know what happened with the car. I guess we exited at the same time, and then I just spun. So, and then I continue on, and I said, you know what, it doesn't make sense to go on these tires. So I came back in, and it happens to be that I had like a long, big gap. So I was kind of lucky. Yeah.
Well, you had a great quali, and your teammates did as well. Is there anything that you guys shared with each other before you got into the actual race itself, or were you guys pretty calm and collected in that team chat?
We were kind of quiet. From my end, I was stressed out the whole time. Carbon, I think his name Danny. He was very fast, super fast at the beginning. So yeah, it was stressful the whole time. And once I was in front, I was trying to pull away, but he kept right there with me.
Yeah.
So it was a stressful race.
Yeah, he was stuck on you like glue, and so was his teammate. His teammate was also stuck on another driver. So, I mean, they had some excellent performance, but as a team, you did great. You had, Andreas in P3 and Diego in P7. So that's got to both, actually P6 at the end of it. So that's got to bode well for your team as well as like the points. But is there anything you would have done differently going into that turn where you kind of gave a little kiss to Basden?
Yeah, I heard him say that that he hopes that it wasn't on purpose, and yes, Danny, it was not on purpose. I think I hit my brake marker. Maybe I missed it by slightly a little bit, and yeah, I'm sorry about the bump. But yeah, it was not on purpose.
Yeah, it looked like it was just a little bit. It just like a little touch, but that touch was because if it was a really big incident, he would have gone flying. But it did look like he was able to recover right on track and really just hold it together as you went on the inside. So it's just probably that that braking marker issue where it's just a little bit too much speed, which gave you all that room to maneuver.
I think he's a good driver too. I think he kind of saw it coming and kind of was prepared for it. So you can tell that he's a really good driver.
Yeah, and congratulations, Ellard. Hopefully the stewards will make a good decision in favor to you. Maybe not, but that's a stewarding decision post race a couple days later. But as a team, you're going to be holding some great points, and as an individual, you're really putting yourself up into the top 3 for sure. Hopefully, we can see some more great pace from you and your team in the next race to come.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks for joining me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you. Yeah, sounds like a pretty exciting race so far. Looking forward to the next one. Just wanted to make sure those guys were getting back in time because quality is about to start. Thanks, Jason. See you on the other side.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it is going to take a second for the screen to load in. So just bear with me on that.
Green light, go, go, go.
It's got to pull in all those liveries. Okay, timetable's back. We're on max weight. Can't change anything, so just briefly, if you haven't seen it already, I'm just gonna pull to it just so we can have you looking at something nice for this max to go through. So here, take a look at this was from Crow Havenborn, and this is the intro to our track Delicious community sim racing community. So here you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. The Wilhelm screen, yes. We should definitely do something like that. Is this going to take me just a second to pop back into this? We, back on screen. We are in qualifying right now for the second race of the doubleheader. We have, let's see who's ahead right now. We got car number 3. Who is that? Santiago Orozco. I think all these drivers are actually on their out. Everybody's on their outlap right now, but Santiago Orozco from the Tacos Locos team is ahead right now on the outlap going into qualifying. And this driver performed very well last race, but he definitely finished in the backfield. So seeing him confidently go out there first to give some breather room for his fastest lap is, you know, that's a level of confidence every man needs. Thanks Huff Maniac for the follow. Tracklicious Sim Racing really appreciates it. Really trying to see who else is out there. We have Danny Baisden, who finished P2 with some. Ooh. A lot of these drivers are giving space. You can clearly see that right there. You can see the field start to pull away. Warming up those tires, GT4 car, so those tires are going to be really, really not that hot. Oh, Pronotis is going to let, I'm not sure who that is, but no, that Miller saying that if the Camaros can qualify 1-2 and run 2 wide the entire race, it'll be physically impossible to overtake. Yeah, this these big cars definitely would make it. He's trying underneath them. Well, says okay, going through. Orozco P1 right now. as he goes off, that's not technically invalid yet, so with the weather looking fairly great, got sunny skies in the Netherlands right now at Zandvoort with a track of optimum for quali in 32 degrees on track with no winds. Doesn't seem too familiar, as the Netherlands is a very windy place. They even made these fans to go along with it. I guess you can go on windmills. Santiago Orozco is going to go on the outside. Maybe he's going to let this driver by as he goes best of 150.7. Santiago Orozco holding P2 right now as Danny Basin goes a 144.292. Fastest in every sector. As I will pull up the screen right now so you can take a look at this. We have Danny Basin with a P1. Josh Willis with a P2 at 145.3. En route Sundar has a 145.5. Riley Manier finally comes up there with a 145.6. Andreas Mazzuchello with a 144.8. Andrew Pickle with a 146 flat. You know, Reggie King with a 147. We're going to see Mike Burkhoff come in right behind his teammate. Gets pushed out by Diego Mazzuchello, who now holds P6 with a now going to P7 with a 145.7. Andreas Mazzuchello holds steady as we have Ed Kerstetter with a 144.8, just 300ths off that other driver in P2. I think you were correct. Get these Camaros out front. We do need some rain. The great equalizer is Ellard Mesa goes quickest with a 144.2, fastest in sectors 2 and 3. He is already faster on his delta this time around, so he's going to be able to get to a 144 flat if possible. Baston is going fast right now, but it's not going to be fast enough. It is! That's a 144.148! Going fastest through every sector. Danny Baston holding P1 provisionally, with Ellard Mesa going through. He's about halfway through his lap, as Andres Masacerdo is going to be going through the line here shortly. He's already up on his delta. Is it enough? I don't think so. Well, he just gained some time out of that corner. He's half a second off his best time. He's going to be going across the line faster than every other driver on the track right now. Oh, you hate to see it. He has gone so fast, and he only sticks P4. Holding it, he has a 144.3. En route, Sundar goes faster with a 144.2. Mesa's invalidated his lap, so he is not going to be able to hold anything faster there with the 144.2. We have Josh Willis in Sector 2 right now. Anyone else on the grid that's actually going to be able to hold a very contentious time? Bason's going faster right now through his time. Right now, you can take a look at his delta. It looks like Basin is going to be holding even a quicker time, as we have Mesa and Sundar not really up on their delta too much, just by a couple hundredths right now, so nothing too impressive. As Basin goes across, he holds a 144.1 across the board, with fastest sector times in every sector. We have 2 minutes and 28 seconds on this time. Drivers are going to get about 2 more laps in as Basin goes into the pits. Maybe he's going to call it quits. That didn't mean to rhyme. As we have Diego Masachero in P8 with a 145.4. He's going to go through this corner, gain some time. It will put him 2 positions up, if that, even at this pace. Oh, as he loses a lot of time going through that corner. Oh no, he lost about 4/10 right there. He only improves by 1 position. As we have Josh Willis with a really off his time there. So all these drivers right now, as you see that red come across the screen, no driver is making an improvement on their time. As Danny Basin goes back out again, but he is on his out lap, so we're just going to pull away there. So Ellard Mesa goes quickest again for his own personal times, but he's only going to improve to a 144.196. He needs to shave an entire 10th off his time to get quickest. Going through that first sector, though, he's already 2/10 up on his time, and he's going to be making some more time, but he's got lap traffic, so he may not technically improve. We have Kerstetter going across the line, and he also has about 5/10 off his time right now. But anything can happen through that, those first 2 sectors, especially what happened in Sector 3 for one of those drivers losing 4/10 off their time. Mesa's losing his delta right now, and he's going equal. So he is really stuck behind this car, whoever it is. That's Gukassian or Honorud. But either or, Mesa's losing time. He is not going to be able to improve. And he's definitely not going to come across the line in time. Oh, and you hate to see it, but that driver went off into the dirt, really messing up his lap. Yeah, he's not going to even want to try at that point. That makes sense. Honorud Sundar is still holding P3 with a 144.2. And let's see, who is it? It is Kerstetter. Kerstetter has been able to hold his delta. He's half a second off his best time. And this half a second is only going to put him up 2 positions if he holds it. First, we had over like 10, 12, 12 drivers all holding in the 145s. So now we have 6 drivers going into the 144s. As Kerstetter goes across the line, this is his last attempt. He holds P2 with a 144.166. We have the Camaros on the starting line when P1 and P2. Oh my God. The chat called it. Those 2 drivers only need to keep their asses in the front and keep them wide. Oh my. We have drivers coming across the line now, but no one's improving upon their times. They're all in the red on their delta. We have drivers 1 through 6 in the 144s. 1 through 3, they're tenths off each other. 1 full tenth off each other. That is absolutely bananas. Oh my gosh. We have come to an end on qualifying. Just briefly, we will go through the driver lineup when they all line up. Why is this driver sitting in the side there? Oh, they haven't gone through. Qualifying still hasn't ended yet. There we go. We'll get some good zoomies in on that. Let me just pull off this. Okay. There you have it. Area 52. Sim Racing. These 2 drivers have pulled ahead and became 1 and 2. And you can see the NAPS, North American Peruvian team, Sim Racing team, is holding these positions. You have Mesa, P3, Masachero, P5, and Diego Masachero, P7, all sitting in a line. These bullies have bullied people before, so I'm calling them bullies. They have taken positions on, 3-car length alone. They have came close. They are going to give Anirudh Sundar a run for his money as he's going to have to battle a full team in the starting lineup. We have Fink Third Eye team in the Porsche. We have Josh Wilson, Ray Frias holding together in P6 and P8. You have Greendale Community College sitting there in P9 and P11. You have Richie Geralman in the TWP sitting behind his teammate in the TWP. Traxion Alpha team. Jason Provolone right there. You have Rich Energy. You want to get a good look at this Rich Energy logo. This livery here. Look at that. It's even got like a nice inlay. Really see how that looks. And then you got Tacos Locos. Look at that. Bravo really came in there, and he's got a good spot. As the Rich Energy team, totally legit racing team, holds spots right next to each other. So that's going to be good for them. As we have a couple more sandwiches from the TWP Bravo team in the mix as well. We have Flying Lizard next to whoever that team is. I can't even remember. So, the Beetlejuice team. And then you got that nice Ginetta by itself, and this blue beast by himself. And then the Hendrix. Some nice liveries. And Barrera by himself. He's a solo player. As Tacos Locos is in the backfield right there. Is Greendale Community College. This might be Constable Cody Wassam. I believe so. Another Hendrix and another Flying Lizard in the back. Turn 1 will shape up this entire thing. So we are going to go back to the front of the pack here. Nothing scares me more than seeing those red pinstripes all in a line next to Area 52 Sim Racing. And then you have a couple third eyes right behind that with those 2 fast Greendale Community College drivers. We are going to be going through a formation lap, and I will stick this to a, let's see, let's stick on our race lead right now. This is going to be a fun event. I honestly think that the GT4 season so far is really shaping up to be one of the most exciting seasons that I've witnessed and been a part of. As the GT3 series that happens on Sundays, while interesting, has over 43 drivers on the field. And what that creates is a wall of incidences that are a nightmare for the stewards. Look at them. They're already employing the strategy before we're about to start. They just have to stay too wide. Barring a massive incident that occurs on the first turn of the first lap, we are going to see nothing but insane racing from these drivers. Aliens in their own right. We have the Naps team, Mesa, P3, Andreas Masachero, P5, and Diego, P7. Josh Willis, P6, Ray Fries, P8. And then the Greendale Community College, Riley Manier and Richie Giral and Mike Burkhoff, P9 and 11. It's going to be interesting. And it's honorary mention, P4, Anirudh Sundar, who was really holding his own, just miscalculated on the fuel and had to finish at the end. Where have I heard this before? Reading chat. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Miller. Up. We are gonna go to this view. It's lights out and away we go. No.
Green window is open.
Green, green, green.
Green light, green
This
light.
is an
Go, go,
F1.
go.
Mesa still holding P3. As they go down the line. Too wide for the Naps team. He's already pushing up ahead. As they go too wide through that corner, he's holding it strong. As he goes off, oh no, Kerstetter. He loses a place already. We have some incidences happening in the backfield. That is, oh my gosh, as you can clearly see, there's some clean racing happening right there. It is nothing but a traffic jam of cars that are really just struggling. Oh no. We have Santiago Orozco with a drive-through. Anirudh Sundar still battling for his position. There's a massive shakeup happening right now. I'm trying to make sure I cover. We have Mesa and P2. Anirudh Sundar P3. Kerstetter is going to be P4 right now. And you can see those Masacheros already next to each other in the lineup as Josh Willis gets pulled back to P7. These two brothers are definitely going to find their way to bully their way to their teammate. We have nothing but clean racing so far from the front half of this pack. As you can see that there's a big gap forming from the drivers in the backfield because of an incident that happened on the second corner. So it would actually be the third corner, that camber corner on the left-hander. That's where saw some collateral damage occur. And that all started with car number 242 hitting car number 33. And then we had an incident with car number 33 and 30. Thankfully, no one else was really collected in that event. It was just some drivers going off, but nothing too erroneous. As you can already see, Kerstedter's losing positions to these drivers. Andreas goes P4, as Diego's going to have a go at him. Mesa still holding P2, but half a second off of P1 right now. With Josh Willis right on the tail of Masachero, he had a hard time sticking in front of that driver. We'll see if it changes this round. So he goes too wide with him. Oh, that is Riley off the side there. He's going to have the... might lose his position to Josh Willis right here. No, gives him space, lets him go. Yeah, it really did. He had to react to that other driver going through that corner, and that was really what... It's really what did it there. Oh, we're going to see these drivers kind of pull away a little bit. Let's see where we're at here. Baisden still leading with a fastest lap of a 1:44.7, holding the quickest lap. Mesa behind him with a 1:44.9. Going back to Masacheros here, Diego is still on the heels of Kerstetter. They're close, but it's not going to be enough. As we see Richie Geralman already is still holding his place on Mike Burkhoff. Mike Burkhoff hasn't gained a position, but hasn't lost one either, so holding steady at P1 or P11. Ray Frias is in a good position as well. So is Riley Manier. Masachero still 2/10 off this driver. The last lap showed Masachero technically quicker by 100th of a second. That was just off track. Let's see, car number 85, Masachero. Nothing so far. We have car number 777, that's Ray Frias, went off slightly, creating a yellow flag. Car number 3 as well, and 18. The only contact we've had so far in this race has been from car number 33 in 2 separate contact events. Let's see who that is. Andrew Pickerel in that Audi in P21 right now had an event of his with car number 30, which is not shown on screen. That's going to be Raza. That's unfortunate. Raza is TWP Racing. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Diego goes through that in just a beautiful fashion, overtaking Kerstetter as Josh Willis is going to try to have a go at him. Oh my gosh. Kerstetter is in trouble. Now Riley Manier is on the heels of Josh. If there's anything that's formed, it hasn't shown up yet. Oh, we technically do have an incident that occurred, as car number 188 has had some Riley Manier looking to capitalize on Josh Willis here, is only a 10th off of him. This is a good battle for P7. Oh, as he backs off slightly, he's going to lose out on that, as he is sitting between a third eye sandwich. Car number 68 is off track. That's Valtteri Bottas. And that Camaro is just going to stick right there. Constable Cody Watson has had some damage that occurred. He is also with the Greendale Community College team. Going back to Josh Willis here, we have an incident where he hit car number 33, Andrew Pickrell, who's still P21. And then Andrew Pickerel and Cody Wasson hit each other, and then Cody Wasson hits car number 68, and that is Valtteri Bottas, who's still holding on in the dirt there. I only hope that he doesn't do anything rash. So we have the Josh and Kerstetter going wide through this corner. Too wide, I mean to say, not wide. And it looks like Riley Manier is just focused on trying to get by these drivers. You can see a little bit of impatience as he swerves between the two. With a good exit, Josh could get ahead of this driver, but nah, it wasn't the case. Ooh. And Valtteri Bottas of car number 6-8 has returned to the pits. You see Josh Willis takes that inside line, and he holds it as Kerstetter now has a battle against Riley Manier. As Riley Manier goes double wide through that, he's on the outside, though. Josh Willis just needs to maintain this inside with a good exit. And he's clean. And he's going to be able to hold on to that as he's going to this next corner. I don't know. He's in it. That's great. There he sticks it. Josh Willis is now P6. Riley Manier P7. Kerstetter now having to battle against Richie Girolamo and Ray Frias is back down to P8. As we see Mesa still holding P. Whoa! Jason Provolone missed his braking marker. He is out off on the side. That is I don't even know if that's a braking marker. He was just really wide through that. Richie Girolamo is going to have a go at Kerstetter. Kerstetter having to defend this entire race, going from P2 down to P8. It cannot feel good. He's got to have some consistency here to maintain. As all these drivers are really close together. While there is a little bit of exciting action going on, I just want to pull back our race leads. Danny Bays in P1. We have Elard Mesa P2 with a half-second gap off each other. Anirudh Sundar has a gap of 2.8 off in P3 as he no longer has to defend too much as we have the Masacheros. And that is some lap traffic right there as Train Boy is not in the contention. He is actually P27 right now. As we have Andreas Masachero and Diego Masachero holding 4 and 5 as they are now going ahead. There's been a lot of excitement happening here as we will go to Josh Willis, who's holding P6, not really having to defend against Riley Manier right now. He's getting close, but not enough to where he's worried about it. He's been in front of Manier before, and he knows how to handle this situation. It looks like there's a little bit of breather room for Ed Kerstetter here as he's holding P6, but he's got like a little bit of a gap forming, about half second off of Richie. As we have a driver off, that is Train Boy off into the first corner. And it's not going to affect the race too much as he's in the back of the pack. And then we have Ray Frias with the 3/10 off this driver. He really wants to try to get by Richie Girolamo. He's really shown to be an impressive driver. Ray Frias is, I didn't think he was one of the quickest drivers, but nothing. I've been proven so wrong in this last 2 events. Punctures, while they do happen, punctures, to me, I've just never seen punctures be that prevalent. Typically, it's just one person ends up having a puncture because they went into some grass area, and it just, like the dirt. But yeah, I don't know. He's not losing too much time. as Kerstetter is at a 145.3, consistently in the 145.3s. But he's not faster than Menier, who ahead of him in P7, who's got a 10th faster than him. He is, however, faster than P6, Josh Willis. Actually, no, he's not. But he's only not faster by a hundredth, so maybe it's like negligible how much quicker he is. But Ed is still quick. He's, just under unfortunate circumstances. But you see him getting that dirty spot of the track there. He's definitely just trying to get by it. And that is some great defense by Riley Menier. Yeah, that's Miller. I would agree. You see he's got a little of a oversteer there, just a slight bit. He also has damage on his back end, so that could also be a factor. You can clearly see he has some damage to that back end, so he must have been tapped and lost position due to it, and then has just been fighting it. Something that is extremely exciting that I forgot to mention that I was talking about earlier is how this Naps team has been doing. You have Mesa in P2, Masachero in 4 and 5. As far as the contention for the team championship goes, you have no one else to bet on. These drivers are showing to have the most points available to them collected, besides Basden and Kerstetter. Had Kerstetter and Basden started in that first race, they would be definitely getting some points there as well. But if I'm correct on this, the team championship as well as the driver championship will have one deductible, so you can deduct one race circuit or one calendar event from your overall. And so they'll definitely want to deduct that first race where they got 0 points. And if they deduct that, then they'll definitely be higher up. And honestly, even if it's just based in sitting in P1 for the next couple weeks as the months progress, they're still going to be really high up in the championship. I would hazard to say that they may be P2 or 3 if something happens to this Naps team. But even if Ellard Mesa gets a racing penalty for the last race, holding P1 or 2 is still great for the team, as the driver was P3 behind him, as we have Kerstetter still trying to push against Riley Menier, as we have Mike Burkhoff trying to have a go at Ray Frias. It's about a 10th off from each other. We have Andrew Pickerel picking up a couple positions. It looks like he wants to try to get by this Hendrick Motorsports of Mentone. And there they go, side by side. Andrew Pickerel's going to get him on this. Ooh. May have spoken too soon, as he's doesn't have the inside line there, but he does have the inside line for the next corner. And he's going to be able to stabilize that. There you have it. Totally Legit Racing Team, otherwise known as the Rich Energy Team. It's flying that beautiful livery behind a Hendrick Motorsport, in front of a Hendrick Motorsports. But Mentone doesn't want to give it back to him, as we have Reggie King going against Tocos Locos team right there. And he is on that back end. He smells tacos. And they aren't the fishy kind. And you thought he was going to make a move there, but nothing happens. That's okay. As we go back to it, Ray Frias is about to be overtaken by Mike Burkhoff as they go too wide here. And Mike Burkhoff sticks back into it. Not trying to give up his position there. Ooh. Back to our race leads. We have a 3/10 difference from these race drivers right now. No one is putting a pass on the BMW on the straight, is what Miller said. Yeah. uh, being teammates, they're sitting comfortably in 4 and 5, as well as Mesa definitely wanting to try have a go at Basin there. And unlike that last race, we'll definitely see some caution with Mesa, as he definitely did not mean to give that little love kiss to little chef's kiss to Basin that gave him all the room to make a pass. But these two are on it. You know, we will go, since we have 11 minutes and 50 seconds left on this race, I'm just going to go for a little bit, see what this looks like from Mesa's perspective as we go through turn 2. You could definitely hear he's really going for it. He's got a nice exit there. Don't punt. You hope he won't do it. I hope he won't do it. Got a 3/10 difference off these drivers. He's definitely reacting quickly to those braking markers there. Those braking lights, I mean. Ooh. Is that like a late break? I mean, there might have been, to me, it looks like late braking, because that would be where the point where I wouldn't be braking. I would have probably tried to brake near where Mesa's line was at. Seems like a quick tap before the turn. There he goes. Is this going to be an inside move? No, he's going to hold to defend. You can tell he wants to give it a little more gas going through that. It's definitely not enough, though. Definitely just drifting, letting off, and just kind of coasting it through, because he's carrying a lot of speed, and these drivers are really close. How close? From this perspective, not too close. He's 2/10 off this driver right now. Got 9 minutes, 34 seconds left on the track. And the weather is still going to be pretty good. Sunny skies, optimum track. Winds have picked up a little bit. But if this lap in view was any indication of how this drive is going to go, I don't think we're going to see much change from 1 and 2, as we have a 5-second gap formed for 2 to 3. Anirudh Sundar holding his position fairly well. His fastest time was a 1:45.2. These drivers are only 100th better than his time. And yet they have formed a massive gap. At some point when Sundar was trying to defend for his position, that's where it really showed. As we have, wow, Ed Kerstetter pulls P7, as he's ahead of Riley Vanier and Richie Drolleman. As Ray Frias goes to the back of that pack, and he is holding P11. Yeah, we have Josh Willis in P6 trying to go at the Masacheros, but he's got a 1.5 gap here. Let's see. Yeah, that's a 1.5 gap from Diego Masachero. And still, these drivers are that close together as we pull towards them. Riley Manier did lose position to Kerstetter. Kerstetter did get his position back. He's holding a P7 now, and it looks like he's going to be able to stick it because he's got a good 6/10 off the driver. I don't see anything really changing as Riley Manier's going to have to defend a lot from Richie Girolamo. Those two are former teammates, and oh, look at that. He goes off slightly. No contact was made there. Car number 29, yeah. Kerstetter. Ooh. Now that is some new damage. If you take a look on the left side there, he's got some damage formed on that left driver's side in the black. It's a little faint, but it looks to be that he has had another incident with another driver. Let's take a look here. We have car number 29, who has had 2 runoffs in the 21st second of this, as well as the, so he had 2 runoff incidences. He's had no contact with any other driver that I can see in the incident screen, so. Six minutes left to go. We have a lot of drivers that are close together, but none making the move. These drivers, while close, haven't done anything with that, as we have Jason Provolone trying to make a move against Jet Engelman, a.k.a. Elroy Jetson Space Cowboy, a.k.a., Tennessee Tornado, delivery legend himself, as he has some contact there with Rich Energy of Snyder. Also there with Engelman. He's flashing his lights. Give us space. Give us the space. We have Constable Cody Wassam in P16 trying to gain against Reggie King. He has passed him before, but is he going to be able to do it now? He thinks he's going to be a clean, consistent driver, like his driver bio says. As Ray Freese goes in on, he holds the outside. Burkhoff maintains his position, holding P10. Nothing yet. We have some drivers that are very close together, yet you can see on the track map there's been a lot of formation, a lot of gaps formed, and nothing I think bodes well in that regard. P1 and 2 with 4 minutes left on the time here. You hope that LR is going to try to make a move. But what we gained from the, I was trying to cut the chicane a little bit, try to get through that. But sorry, the corner. Cut the corner. Yeah, from the interview, it looked like these two drivers were finding it hard to even maintain pace with the other driver. Both of them were in that same ballpark of, they're less than a 10th difference in terms of their natural gifts right now in terms of speed. So it's really going to come down to somebody making a slight error in judgment, which is what's going to change all of this. Yep, we're finally upon it. We have Bazin going against car number 3, Orozco, and the Hendricks of J Auto, who are sitting at P23 and 24. So let's see what happens when these two drivers get close to this lap traffic. Is that Tokos Locos is trying to get by Hendricks. That will be for P23. And he does it. As they're now side by side. They let these two drivers get ahead. And in the aftermath of that lap traffic, we have Santiago Orozco overtaking Jay Otto of the Hendricks Motorsports. So backfield traffic, or still backfield battle. Those two drivers are fighting for position, as we have these two drivers going double wide through this straight. And that's Jed Engelman trying to maintain his position against Jason Provolone, who's a really fast driver. I'm surprised he's sitting in the midfield right now. And that is Josh Willis trying to have a go at Diego Masachero as he is caught up to him. Oh, there's a little bit of... That's not a contact. That's not contact. No, that was not contact. Just checking the boards there. There is no contact that has been made. Oh! He has a bad entry. Clean exit, though. He's going to be able to maintain that. Josh Willis trying to attempt to get P5 here. Gain some points for the third eye team, as his teammate Ray Frias is sitting back at 11th place now, outside of the huge amount of points that you could get if you're in the top 10. It's backed off a little bit as Jet Engelman still able to hold his own going against Snyder here. And just jumping to our race leads, we have Baisden. Some mistake must have formed because we have a 2.5 second gap from that driver. So the race lead is going to be able to maintain a good distance with 20 seconds left on the clock. I don't think that we're going to see a shakeup from the P1 through P5, or P4, I mean. Diego Masachero is trying to hold and defend his position against Josh Willis. With the leader being on the final lap, they're going to have to make one more go at this. Jed Engelman goes ahead. And he is through. Snyder overtaken by Jet in the Sector 2 going into Sector 3. Oh my gosh. The Flying Lizard team is going to get some points there, as he now holds P12. You see Jarek trying to get on that inside. It's not going to matter. He's too far away. But it matters for Provolone on that defense. He's got to maintain it. As we see Josh Willis really battling out with Diego Masachero, though. Kerstetter is about 6.2 seconds behind in P7. You can see him right there in the back. And actually, you can't. That's lap traffic. That is a Hendricks Motorsports lap traffic. I'll pull towards the rest of the pack as they come across, but we have a strong contention for P5 and P6 right now, as Masachero has to hold his position. It really matters none for the team, because the points that Diego Masachero will make is going to be negated, because you could only have two of your teammates gain points in the top 10, with Danny Baisden finishing P1, Mesa P2, Sundar P3, Masachero Andreas P4. Diego goes across the line. He is P5. Josh Willis P6. Ed Kerstetter started P2, ends P7. Great race from him. Riley Manier P8. Richie Geralman P9. Mike Burkhoff P10. Ray Fries P11. Engelman's going across shortly as he rounds that final corner. Jed Lincoln's going to be able to hold P12 as we have Jarek Snyder of the Totally Legit Racing team in P13. And then we have lap traffic right there that's also followed. That's Constable Cody Wassam. Definitely doesn't hold that position, but Provolone is going to be going across in P14. Is that how it's going to work out? Snyder, Wassam, King. Okay, I guess Wassam was able to hold P14. As we have Reggie King, P15, Bravo 16, Pickerel 17, Provolone 18. And then, yeah, it's quite the shakeup. Oh, here we go. Final tally. It was Snyder on that 13, Wassam 14, Reggie 15, Bravo 16, Pickerel 17, Provolone 18, Mantone 19, Barrera 20, Ramos 21, Cassian 22, Otto 23, Roscoe 24, and Cronotis 25. That's it, folks. Not quite, as we can possibly get some commentary for you just ever so. Maybe get one of the Masacheros. Hey, thanks, Webcakes, for the 100 bits. Appreciate that for the Tracklicious Sim team. We have a Andreas Masachero drenched in sweat. That's I bet a lot of these guys are gonna be yep.
Green light. Green
Hopefully
light.
we can get some interviews. I'm going to see if I can't jump into a thing. Hey, Mesa and Andreas, do you mind if I have a moment with you guys?
Sure. For sure.
So first, I just want to say, great racing from you guys. Awesome as a team. You guys really pulled it together. That's got to feel great. I mean, you won. You got P2, P4, and P5. That's got to feel great. Eller, did you not have the room to make a move against Based in there? Was that what the real issue was?
Yeah, it was he had good pace. I think I think maybe second gear or third gear he was faster than my car, so he was kind of taking off in the middle of it. And he also got great acceleration, so it's tough to keep up out of corners. But yeah, awesome battle, like awesome. I'm sweating.
Yeah, I know. It looked like you were unable to make a maneuver against the driver, and you just strong pace from both of you. And then also Diego and Andreas as brothers. You guys were right there. Pace for pace, time for time, 4 and 5th. That's got to feel great. Was there any point in that race that you felt you weren't going to be able to hold it?
Yeah, I mean, personally, here there at the end, I kept there was a couple back markers, and then I had a pressure loss on the right front. So every time I was trying to catch up to Sundar, I would see the timer go point one up, point one up. I was like, okay, I'm catching, and then he just take off the corners, and I just had no way to really keep pace with him once that happened. So, I mean, good race to Sundar for keeping for zero mistakes. Really, that's what I was betting on. Making hopefully Sundar would make a mistake, but
Yeah.
that didn't happen, and then yeah, couldn't do anything after that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Sundar's not known for making mistakes. I mean, his internet may go out, but he's definitely not going to make the mistakes. All three of you qualified extremely well, so seeing all three of you in a line on the starting grid, that must have felt great, knowing that you guys were going to probably hold a good position for this. I mean, just strong racing from all three of you. It was great watching you, and can't wait to see what you guys do next race.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Danny, do you have a second?
It depends on how many seconds you want me to give you.
Well, just first off, great race, great win. You and Kerstetter were on, pole position together. That must have felt great being a team that was able on the 1 and 2. So great qualifying from both of you. But, honestly, you held steady and you had a great race. You didn't make any major mistakes that Mesa could capitalize on. So just overall, do you have anything that's different from this race from last?
I I protected my tires throughout the race. I was really focused on making sure that I didn't burn them up or catch a curb and get a flat. So made a couple camber adjustments too, and made that last corner so much nicer. And I was able to hold them off on the front straights. But that BMW is quick, and it'll be exciting for the next coming races.
Well, absolutely. You guys really capitalized a lot of good points for this race, this session. So, I mean, going forward, you guys are definitely going to have a strong contention in the championship for the team as well as yourself. So, I can't wait to see more of it. It was a great race, clean racing too, and overall, just congrats.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for hosting the races and everything too.
Yeah, no worries. All right, take care.
Yep.
Hey,
Honest, someone
Sundar.
pit maneuvered me. There's nothing going on in front of me.
Sundar, do
but
you have a
someone...
second? I just want to
Yeah, I
get a
do.
final interview from you,
Yeah.
if you don't mind just popping into Stream Team.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Yep.
watch your
Sorry.
replay under.
And then we'll round this off with our last one. Anirudh Sundar, you had some bullies amongst you. The Naps team is really strong and has strong pace. You held your own. You're able to maintain your line, and you able to capitalize and you stay P3. That's got to feel great. Is there anything that you would change about that race?
Nothing. But did you see that overtake in lap one?
Yeah, it was very strong. We were able to see everybody that was maneuvering perfectly, and it looked like Josh lost a lot of. I think there's two drivers in the top 5 that lost some positions quickly, and that one of them was Kerstetter. So you're able to get by him as well, which was
Yeah.
all the room for the.
Yeah. I mean, this race was much better than the previous one. I mean, the previous one was good too, but I sort of screwed up on the fuel calculation, so I had no choice but to let the car who was racing me by and then dive into the pits. And then as I was entering, I forgot to like turn off change tires, so it's like instead of a few seconds, it became 30, and I
Oh
finished
no!
P19. But I mean, this race sort of feels good, sticking to P3, and you have Mostachero behind me, and that guy is a very, very skilled, person when it comes to overtaking,
Oh,
especially in a
absolutely.
flat track. Like he managed to pick me off when I started from P3 in the previous race, and he managed to pick me off within like 3 or 4 turns. So my only objective was to prevent him from even coming near me. I think the closest he got was like a second, but then I tried to avoid all the mistakes that I was doing on track and just stay consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, yeah, it was a pretty lonely race for me, but I'm happy that way. Lonely with points is better than exciting with no points.
Absolutely,
So
and you really
yeah,
pulled it
I'm
together for
happy.
your team, and it was a strong race, and you really had a gap, and while it was lonely, you still maintained. You didn't let up at any point, and you didn't let the Masacheros by to get more points, so that's great. So it was awesome, awesome race from you. Even though we didn't get a lot of viewership from it because we weren't really on it, but you definitely had a strong light yesterday during that exhibition race, definitely battling out for that. So it's really
Yeah.
impressive. Really awesome to see you up there in the points and the position. Thanks, Sundar.
Yep. Thanks, and thanks to you too for keeping the stream going, and hopefully at some point of time I can join you here,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
All right. Well, take care. Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
Okay, everybody, thank you for joining us. That's the end. That's the last interview I have from you. We had the NAPS team. Thank you for them for joining us, as well as the Area 52 team for also joining us, and the Beetlejuice team of Honored Sun there. Actually, he might not be in the Beetlejuice team. I forget. But thank you for joining me. This is Trackless Sim Racing. We're gonna have a Porsche Cup race for the fall championship series. That's gonna be on Saturday, and then the GT3 series is gonna be on Sunday, and that's gonna be pretty wild with over 42 cars that I know of right now that will be on the grid. So catch us at the Porsche Cup or at the Sunday GT3 one, as well as we're going to be um, around for next Thursday for the GT4 series again. Thanks for everyone watching, and have a good night.